Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is a 2022 American animated adventure comedy film which conveys an important concept, the concept of fear. But how does fear build the character of Puss in this film? We will be able to discover that exactly by discussing Puss as a character at the beginning of the film to how he develops throughout and the fruit of his character development at the end of the film. For starters, the beginning of the film shows Puss to be very confident, charismatic, and a risk taker, someone who feels like he is invincible, which is exactly what the film was portraying Puss to be. The starting fight sequence shows Puss doing amazing stunts, calm under pressure, no care when being hit. Puss seems to be unbothered, as if there is no challenge. We understand from the first segment we see him lose his life on multiple occasions, in quite stupid fashion. However, despite losing his life, he remains with the persona that he has no care in the world. He can be as reckless as he wants. We may know about the saying that cats possess 9 lives, while he takes it quite literally. And after the realization that he is now on to his last life, Puss still fights, saying, "I am Puss in Boots. I laugh in the face of death." Despite this film showcasing multiple antagonist figures, the main antagonist is evidently the main message of the film and the reason for Puss's character development: fear. In this film, it has taken form as a big and mysterious wolf with blood-red eyes and weapons with the intent to take life, as the living rendition of death. Puss's main objective for the course of the film is what is also desired by the supporting characters around him: the last wish. This can grant anyone holding it any wish that they desire. Puss's wish is to gain all of his lives back, but exactly for what reason? Along the way, the characters around him have their own reasons for the wish, but we understand one thing about Puss that is being placed in the film quite subtly. Puss is trying to obtain the last wish for one reason only, that is to get away from death, to escape death. The truth is, it's not possible. No matter what happens, death always follows around. Death is inevitable, which is what the film is portraying. No matter where Puss goes, death always follows. We get to understand the selfishness and the cunning of Puss, that he will do anything and use anyone to get what he wants, and to also get away from death. Death acts and portrays himself to be just like any other character when introduced. However, it is the fact that Death claims he was there to watch Puss die each time and has been waiting for his final life, showcasing each death of Puss on his sickle that creates initial worry. Of course, as Puss's character is, he laughs and shrugs off any threat to his life, repeating his famous line, that he laughs in the face of death, quite literally. However, we know that Puss has become used to it. He has faced a threat to his life on multiple occasions. But for Puss, he has never seen death eye to eye, just like he has now. We get an idea that death is not just some regular antagonist, but the fact that he is the antagonist. Knowing every move Puss does, and fighting Puss with such ferocity, finally causes Puss to bleed. There we see Puss for the first time, showing pure fear, as his blood drips from his forehead, the same color as Death's eyes. The hair standing up, the whistle of death, the hyperventilation. Puss is now for once fearful of losing his life that he has recklessly lived. This film involves memorable moments that stick with Puss, something that can't happen alone. Puss lives on this one life, running away from death, trying anything he can for his own agenda. However, along the way, he also understands the meaning of life, that the life he has should be cherished and spent with the people he cares about and care for him. This kind of message and character development was only instilled by Death alone. If it weren't for Death chasing Puss, Puss would have never learned these lessons and would have never understood just how precious his one life was and is. As Puss relives all his moments throughout the course of the film, as an audience, we get to see along with him exactly what kind of memories he has made just from living his one life. And faced with the provocation of death, he has newfound strength and finally understands that no matter what, death will follow and that he must face his fear one day. Puss shows bravery going head to head with death, knowing full well that this is it. There is nowhere to go and no one to help. Instead of running away, he instead decides to face his fears and fight his battle with death himself. The fight sequence may just look like two characters fighting each other. However, a message is being brought forth to the audience to comprehend. A time will come where you must face your fear, and you will be alone to do it. But no matter how far you run, no matter what you do to escape, your fear will remain with you until you decide to finally face it and defeat it. From the outside, his friends who care about him most watch as he fights against his fear, the flames red and blaring like a barrier, trapping his friends, preventing them to help, and trapping Puss inside with nowhere to go. The only solution is to face his fear himself. The fight makes a turn for Puss, with a significant moment in the film. Puss using his friend's weapon that she had gifted him to defend himself and use to thwart death. The key message is that you must fight fear alone, but the support of the people that care about you most is always with you to help. We see Puss finally having death in the same position he was once put in, facing death straight in the eyes, showing courage and not being afraid renders death weak and defeated. So what was this vlog about? It was about Puss overcoming his fear of death. He stopped running. He didn't use his last wish on more lives because he didn't need it anymore. Puss finally learned that his one life is so precious. Living it with the people he cares about the most, he is able to finally face his fear. He is finally able to face and defeat death. He can now finally live his life, knowing that he has faced fear and conquered it. But death will always follow, and he will be there for the next battle.